I'm Mo. I've been putting this video off a little bit. This is the video where I'm going to talk about my 2022 reading and channel goals. It's not that I don't love goal planning, because I do love goal planning, but my goals this year are kind of simple and they're kind of the same as last year. So there's nothing super revelatory in this video. I have a hot chocolate, I have my notebook, and let's go over the goals that I set in 2021 and see how I did on them, and then let's go over the goals that I'm going to set for 2022. I made 2 goals videos in 2021 and I watched both of them a few days ago and took some notes. I made a channel and reading goals video in the end of 2020 in December, and then I made a goals check-in and a life check-in in June of 2021. In December of 2020, my goals for 2021 were to read more. I set my Goodreads goal at 65 books. At time of filming, I have reached 93 books, and I'm on track to reach 95 books. Number 2 was to read more diversely. Read more BIPOC authors, read more queer authors, read more trans authors. I have accomplished this, I guess. I have definitely read more authors than I read in previous years under these guidelines. I've read more diversely in general. I've read more books from different countries and different perspectives, and I've been more conscious about that when I'm thinking about books. Could I do better? Absolutely. Number 3 was read more varied works, so different genres, books from different types of authors, books from different countries, books about different subject matters than I'm used to, and I would say that I crushed this one in a lot of ways. I read a lot of different books that I thought I would never read this year or that I would not be interested in. I did, of course, stick to my favorite genres as well, and my favorite authors as well, and my favorite types of books as well, but I definitely read from different perspectives and different places and outside of my comfort zone, which was great. Number 4 was to talk about books with my friends and family. So yes, I definitely talked about books with my friends and family. My husband read quite a bit this year. I always talk to my dad about books. I made some new reading friends both on BookTube and in my real life. I was able to discuss some of the books, but the best part was really talking to BookTube about all the books and being able to discuss them and listen to what other people have to say. Doing buddy reads this year was like amazing, and it was so much fun to buddy read books. I hope to do more of that in 2022, although I didn't set that as a specific goal. The last goal for 2021 was to continue my love of reading. I was worried about a few things. One, I had really only restarted my reading life in 2020, and I was a little bit worried that it was kind of a fluke and I wasn't going to continue it. I was also worried that rekindling my reading life and starting BookTube maybe was too much, so maybe I would find that I wasn't as happy with reading or I didn't read enough, which I definitely did not do. I continued my love of reading. I still love to read. And I think what Victoria read said this really well the other day, but she said that reading for her is a form of mental well-being and self-care, and I really do find myself gravitating towards that. I find it a way to slow down my life, to be present in the moment. Even though that sounds weird, I do feel that it's true. I find it to be comforting and to help me not escape from reality, but to calm my mind from some of the worser or horrible things in reality and be able to reset and recharge. Then in June, I basically said the same things in the June video. I did say that reading 1 book a week is kind of my base level goal, but that 9 books in a month is kind of my ideal. I said I was doing well on diversity and it was becoming more effortless because I was just easily picking up more diverse titles and more diverse books because it was just in my mind. It wasn't a strain or a stress to have to do it. For my channel goals that I had set in December of 2020, I wanted to grow my channel. This was a very nebulous goal that didn't have like a number, but I think that I have done that. My channel has grown small but incremental amounts all year of 2021, and I'm so happy for that. I'm just happy to have connected with more booktubers and more viewers and be able to discuss more books and I would love even more input in the future, of course. My second goal for my channel was to become a bigger part of BookTube, and I think this goes along kind of with the first part. It's that I have identified more people that I love to watch on BookTube, and I have connected with a lot of them, so I think I'm doing well there as well. I wanted to find more backlist booktubers, and I think I found that. I wanted to find more people who read like me, and I think I found that. I wanted to find more people who didn't read like me, and I think I found that. So I'm happy with that progress. Goal number 3 was get better at YouTube. I mentioned in my mid-year check-in that I actually thought I'd gotten worse at YouTube to a certain extent, and that I think still holds true. I don't think I've necessarily gotten better at BookTube in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, I feel like I have become a little bit more wooden, and I have narrowed kind of my focus down, which, you know, they say is good, but on the other hand, I feel less kind of relaxed, I feel less free, and I don't know if that's a me thing and where I am, or if that is just, I don't want to say rut, but the avenue that I've gotten into with BookTube. So I would like to be more fluid. I would like to be more comfortable. I'd like to be less wooden. And then of course I would also like to learn more about BookTube. I think I have gotten better at finding kind of my style and what works for me. Every time I make a thumbnail, I feel like I learn a little bit about it and what I want my channel to look like, what I want people to get from the visuals of my channel. I think my editing has not necessarily gotten better, but has become very comfortable. I would love to get better at editing. And I think I've gotten a little bit better at just not feeling stressed about making videos in a lot of ways, not feeling like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing or I don't know what I want to do. If anything, I think I have too many ideas and too much that I want to do. Goal number 4 was to get friends and family involved, do more interviews, and incorporate my BookTube more with my life. And that meant incorporate my BookTube with my friends and family, with my Instagram, with doing vlogs and things like that. In some ways, I think I have done that. There is still some resistance and discrepancy between my normal life and my BookTube life. Some of the people that I am close with don't watch my BookTube or anything like that, which is fine. It just means that there's sometimes an awkward area where I'm like, well, I have to film now, or like, well, I have to go in the other room, and it's not a smooth transition all of the time, which is an interesting challenge that I would not have foreseen and is going to continue to be a challenge for me, which is interesting. But on the other hand, I think constantly of how maybe I could incorporate more people into my BookTube, my friends, my loved ones. Also, I think I have not gotten the hang of vlogs because, like I said earlier, I think my vlogs were more organic when I was first starting out, and I would like to get back to a more organic place, but I like doing vlogs a lot more and they feel more comfortable to me, even though maybe they're a little bit more stuffy. That June video, I just reiterated some of those things. I said that my upload schedule had been quite good and consistent, and that is something that was kind of a goal generally with BookTube, was to be a little bit more consistent with uploading, and I think that that has really worked out. I'm not perfectly consistent. I don't always do 3 videos a week. I don't always upload them at the same times. I'm not always a few videos ahead, which is where I would love to be, but I think that goal is working and I am gaining ground on that goal. One place in June where I had not achieved my goal, which was to link my BookTube channel with my Instagram, and that is true today as well. My Instagram is actually on hold right now because I was really having a hard time with the media aspect of Instagram and the news aspect of it and getting really down and depressed. I don't get Insta envy. I like and get inspired by seeing my friends and family, but I do get stuck in rabbit holes and I do get a lack of productivity from doom scrolling and endless scrolling. And then to add in the horrible things that happen in the news and to see a headline that I would not seek out in my normal life on Instagram can be very jarring and very upsetting to me. So I've taken a break from Instagram. I sort of kind of have an idea of going back a little bit more starting in January, but honestly, I don't miss it as much as I thought I would. What I miss is uploading pictures and connecting my life and being able to see my life online. So I'm still thinking of a way that I can do those things and take the part of Instagram that I enjoy and utilize it as a tool for myself, but not be harmed by it. My end of the year thoughts I kind of already shared with you throughout. So let's move on to my goals for 2022. My camera battery died and now it's a few days later. Instead of hot chocolate, I have my last eggnog with a little nip of whiskey in there. It's a oat eggnog and it has some cashew in it. It's like the one in the little skinny container. They use like a barista one. I don't know. My friend Noah would know what it was. The eggnog is pretty tasty. It's very, very sweet, but the whiskey balances it out. Here we go with my goals for 2022. For reading, my first goal is that I would like to read at least 75 books. That is what I am setting my Goodreads goal at this year. And since I set it at 65 last year and I easily reached that, I did end up reading 95 books, then I think 75 shouldn't be too hard. I like it to be a little bit of a challenge, but I don't want to set it so high that I'm only thinking about the goal. Obviously, if I don't read 75 books in 2022, that's fine too. It's just a high enough number that I get to compete a little bit with myself and try to attain it, but not feel bad if I don't reach it. In 2022, I want to read more diversely. And again, this has to do with the authors and the stories that are being told. I want to read more people of color. I want to read more Black authors. I want to read more queer and trans authors. And I want to keep in mind that when I pick up books, that's something that I'm interested in doing all year long. I definitely want to read some Indigenous work. I didn't get to read any Indigenous work in 2021, and I think that reading from Indigenous authors, both Indigenous to the Americas, First Nations in Canada, and Indigenous to other places as well, is going to be an important goal for me this year. Also want to read diversely in the genres that I'm reading. I discovered this year that I really like contemporary romance, so I would like to keep reading some more contemporary romance and trying different genres that I might not have thought that I liked, but maybe I do. I want to read about people's stories and histories that are different to my own. Their life experiences are different to my own. Some countries that I specifically want to read from this year are Canada. I hear a lot of great things about Nigerian authors. I would love to read more Australian work. I would also really love to read some Caribbean authors this year. Obviously, those are not all the different countries that I want to read from. I'm super interested in reading in a multitude of different countries, but those are the 4 or 5 that I really have stuck in my mind that I would really like to read more from. The third goal for my reading in 2022 is to keep track of my recently acquired books. This is sort of a reading goal, sort of not, but since I have acquired quite a lot of books in 2021, I want to make sure that I'm keeping track of the books that I find either in little free libraries, at book sales, or at used bookstores, so that I know exactly how many books are coming onto my shelf, in contrast to how many books that I am reading. Because I forage most of my books, it is kind of a chance, an opportunity when I do get books, so I don't want to deny myself getting those books, but I do hope to bring in less books in 2022 than I did in 2021, and I hope to read more books in 2022 and get them off of my shelves. And then my last goal for reading in 2022 is to just continue my love of reading. I really love doing BookTube, and I think that that helps with my reading, but I want to make sure that BookTube never overshadows my reading, that making videos never overshadows my reading, and that reading is a priority to me. As I said earlier, I have discovered that it is a huge boon and help to my mental health, so along with some other things this year, not reading involved, I want to keep up those mental health practices that help me feel better and keep me in a good headspace. As far as my channel goals for 2022, I would love to grow my channel. Again, I don't really want to set a number. Ideally, the number would be like 500 subscribers would be great. I would love to gain more rapidly or more extensively than I did in my first full year on BookTube. But if that doesn't happen, that's okay, because the real goal is to just create community. I would love to participate in more readathons. I would love to meet more people on BookTube. I would love to encourage more people outside of BookTube to watch BookTube and perhaps start their own channel. One tangible goal that I would like to do community-wise for BookTube is I would like to do at least one reading sprint. And actually, this is 2 reading sprints. I want to do one sprint where I join someone on their reading sprints and I hang out with them, I comment or whatever and get used to that idea, and then the real goal is to have a reading sprint on my own channel. I think reading sprints could be a really useful tool for me, not only as a time to read and focus, but as a time to participate in the community as well. I've never joined one officially and I've never had one myself, so these are things that I would really like to do in 2022. Another channel goal in 2022 is to have some really varied videos. Now, I did my 1 more month of zero waste challenge in 2021, and I'm still debating whether I'm going to continue that particular challenge, but I do plan on doing zero waste videos. I plan on doing slow lifestyle videos. I plan on doing maybe vlogs that aren't reading related and a few other videos that, although they are tangentially associated with reading or in combination with reading, they're not necessarily reading videos. I think that zero waste and slow lifestyle really do fit with my reading channel and with my BookTube channel, but I would love to do even more varied videos. One of the ways that I want to do this is by having some 30-day challenges. In November and December, there was a couple of things that I started filming, but I didn't complete, which were going to be a 30-day challenge videos for my channel and 30-day challenges for myself. I definitely plan to utilize this idea and create videos around this idea. I already have started a few, so you will eventually see those 30-day challenges coming into play. Another aspect to this goal is I want to do more interviews. I have actually done a few interviews, not all of which have made it onto my channel yet, but I would like to interview my friends who read and do some other interviews concerning things that might have to do with my channel, might have to do with BookTube. The third goal for my BookTube channel in 2022 is to just be more comfortable. It kind of goes with the second goal in that I want my whole life to be involved in my BookTube channel, and I want to just feel happy and calm and comfortable in front of the camera. I think I've become a little more wooden, and while that's true, I think that also I've never given up my true self and have always stayed true to myself in these videos, but I think being even more myself can only be good for my channel. Goal number 4 is to become a better filmer, a better speaker on camera, less ums, less ahs, but also behind the scenes I would like to be a better filmer, booktuber, editor. I would like to learn more about thumbnails, and I would like my videos to have a little bit of like a theme or a look or an idea so that when you see my video right away, you know it's mine. And then my last goal is just to continue having fun with BookTube. Same as with reading. I've found something that I really, really enjoy to do, and I've really loved to create community on BookTube. I've really loved the idea of doing readathons and read-alongs and vlogs of those things. There are some BookTube games that I love. It's just such a fun time, and I have a really fun time almost every time I sit down to film. I don't love editing as much, of course, but I like to see the finished product. So I just want to continue for BookTube to be super fun. So those are my 2022 goals. They're pretty much the same as my 2021 goals. Did you set goals or intentions for 2022? How much are they different, or how much are they the same as the goals that you've set previous years? If you have a channel, please link to your goals video down below, or if you don't, let us know one of your goals in the comments. Thanks so much for joining me today, and Happy New Year. Bye!